Over the past several weeks, I have been helping my clients prepare for career-shaping conversations at companies including Meta, Anthropic, Jobber, ServiceTitan, and Shopify. So high-growth companies with a ton of change and innovation taking place right now. And some of these clients are going for leadership positions internally to increase their scope and their impact. And some of these conversations are their interviews to break in. So I've been thinking a lot about the content on this channel, and I think the best way I can support type A, high-achieving women in the tech and digital media space is to shed some light on what women need to do to get chosen in these unusual, highly competitive times. So here we go. I am just going off of what my clients are working through and how I am advising them. And if you are new to my content, haven't been following me on LinkedIn, and have no idea why I'm qualified to be advising women at this level, my name is Erica Pearson. I left capital markets in my 20s to build a fintech startup from zero, hunting clients, pitching investors, hiring a team, and marketing a product across North America. I was doing all of it at once with no playbook, and in the process of putting myself out there constantly, I accidentally built a name for myself in the tech space. So we wound down the company at the start of the pandemic, and for the first time in my career, I became an employee in tech. I had no idea what I wanted. I just knew I was a relationships person who liked really big targets. So I tried a few different things, bounced between roles for almost 2 years, figuring out whether I wanted to crush quota myself or lead teams, until I landed in software sales at a company that had just gone public, where I stayed long enough to get good at it. I had 2 little girls around this time, bounced in and out of maternity leave, and motherhood did what it does. It clarified everything for me. I didn't want to build somebody else's pipeline anymore. I wanted to build something of my own. So here we are. I've had to sell myself into rooms that I wasn't sure I belonged in. I have had to figure out my positioning from scratch multiple times across very different contexts. I know what it feels like to not have the obvious credentials, the right title, or a clear narrative to win the role. And I know what it takes to build your brand as a professional that gets chosen for really cool opportunities. So over the past year, I've helped women land roles at Shopify, Reddit, Stripe, Intuit, and we're really just getting started. So without violating my clients' anonymity, here's what I can share about how I am serving clients based on the opportunities they want to step into next. So in every client partnership, I start with an introductory session for the purpose of understanding them to their core, their strengths, their interests, their motivations, their values. This gives me a really good idea of what sets them apart, what actually makes them and their experience unique, and what kind of opportunities are aligned based on the things that light them up. And that all happens in a one-on-one live Zoom conversation with me, where they are thinking on the spot and telling me what propels them forward. So we spend another foundational session digging into their past. So their career moves, their past company experiences, what motivated them to take the role, what did they learn and contribute while they were in it, and then what motivated them to move on. The most honest answers are never the presentation ready answers, the ones that are ready for an interview. But I need to know both. We need to be aware of both. The presentation ready answers have to feel authentic without spilling every single detail. So why is that the case? Isn't our energy best when we are being truly authentic? Yes, however, the business world is not fair. The business system is designed to make money, and the bigger companies get, the more decisions they have to make. And when they are focusing on the bottom line for their decision making, poor decisions and human career casualties will happen. So when someone listens to you explain a past scenario, they're just imagining you at their company saying the same thing. Whatever comes out of your mouth, they are unintentionally imagining you saying that about their company. This is how the human brain works. So this is why we have to practice saying what we are saying before the interview, because you can't say everything. You have to say just the things that position you well for the opportunity in question. So what happens next? A live 60-minute session digging into past career experiences is obviously not enough to get polished. So with all of that data, we can go at it again more intentionally this time. Every time you retell a story, it's kind of like you experience parts of it again. Every time you retell a story with intention, you get closer to really owning it and shaping it. So what is the most productive way to shape that past career experience in a way that serves future you? And let's talk about AI involvement in this process, because AI is a tool that can help us get to our answers faster. On my live calls with my clients, I have Granola transcribing everything. We use Claude intermittently, and we gather so much data about how to make the next live conversation way more impactful based on the target role that my clients want next, internally or externally, because at the end of the day, you will not get chosen for a really great opportunity without human-to-human conversations. And practicing with a human is the best way to practice like you play. Perfect practice makes perfect. Now, as we move through how we want to talk about our past based on where we are going, we can then translate that to our LinkedIn profile and our resume so that everything feels accurate and aligned. It all allows the talk track to improve and everything starts to make sense in someone's brain. It makes it so much easier to get chosen for the right thing when these things are aligned. You want to be chosen for the kind of role that feels emotionally and financially rewarding and fulfilling. Next, we go to market. We identify the companies, the open roles, and the people that need to know what we want and that we're ready for the next thing. So we live in this world of abundance, right? Especially online. Too many options, too many potential directions, too many candidates, not enough clarity, just a lot of noise. So by bringing your own clarity to an overwhelmed market and an overwhelmed process, you allow others to breathe and feel relieved that you found them, that you are the right person to solve their problem. So that's what I'm up to these days with my clients. In future episodes, I am going to get into some of the specifics about how my clients are shaping past experiences. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay in the loop with how women that take their tech and digital careers seriously are actually navigating this market, and I will see you in the next episode.